who's the number one contender now? You're now being chased, right? You were doing a little bit of chasing in terms of trying to get that unified, but who in your mind is the number one contender now for the heavyweight title belt?
Oh, I'm more than happy being chased. That's fantastic. I would rather be the hunted as opposed to the hunter, because I've been chased. I don't like chasing fights. I like just being the guy and everyone comes to me. That's fantastic. So I've actually fought a lot of the top 10. One of the guys I've not fought is CIRYL, GANE, a French guy. That's a fight that I was actually chasing that fight a few times before. He was ducking and diving around himself a little bit, so he is due a little bit of a beating off me. I look forward to that. Couple more guys down the rankings. A Brazilian guy, Jailton Almeida, I've not fought. There's a guy I've already beat called Alexander Volkov, who's doing really well for himself as well. So who knows? You never know in the heavyweight division. There's a couple of up-and-coming guys who I've not mentioned as well. So there's some good fights to be made over the next couple of years for sure.
If I were to say myself, it'd be great to see you fight GANE in London or in the UK somewhere as your next fight. Do you have any idea what you're doing next and when you'll be back in the octagon?
I do, but I also want to keep my job. So there's not much I can say on it, to be honest. But
Will you be fighting this year?
I'm going to be fighting hopefully twice this year. That's my plan.
Oh, wow.
At least I think I've wasted enough time.
Tom Aspinall may have just dropped a huge clue about his next opponent, and fans are buzzing with speculation. In a recent interview, he revealed that he's been preparing for several possible matchups, but one particular name stood out: CIRYL GANE. The former interim champion is widely regarded as one of the most technical strikers in the heavyweight division and considered by many to be the toughest challenge outside of Jon Jones or Francis Ngannou. If the rumors are true, GANE could be the next fighter standing across from Aspinall. The moment Tom mentioned his name, the MMA world lit up. Since Aspinall's career has been in a holding pattern for months, bogged down by UFC scheduling issues, the uncertainty surrounding Jon Jones, and a championship picture that's felt frozen in place.
This is the only sport in the world you can have somebody hold your career back.
Yep. I've been almost a year inactive with no prospects of anything. Just be ready, and we'll just let you know.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of difficult, like mentally, to.
Oh yeah.
This is the fight against Jon Jones. Like, not the fight is another thing.
Yeah.
This is the tricky bit where I really have to stay switched on, stay motivated, and I'm trying my best. It's tough. As you said a minute ago, no one really knows what's going on behind the scenes apart from me.
Exactly. You're in office cooking.
I train all the time anyway. Just because I've not got a fight doesn't mean I don't train. Like, I honestly can see Jon's point of view. I get it.
Yep.
I get it. It's just about the title for me.
Yep.
I just want the title, that's it.
Yep.
Does nothing else really matters. So
you're like, let me do my thing. Let me fight.
I just want to fight.
And I think that's the respectful way to go about it. It's like, you don't care if it's Jon, and it's no disrespect to Jon, it's no disrespect to anybody out there. You're just trying to fight. Yep. I just want to fight.
Yep.
GANE idea. He was the one who delayed till Francis was out the fucking door. He could have fought Francis a long time ago. If he'd just taken the chance of going up the heavyweight earlier, we could have had him versus a prime Cain Velasquez. Cain Velasquez was 240. Jon Jones is 260, 265. And you're telling me Cain Velasquez was too big for him? What a load of shit. Stipe Miocic could have fought him in his prime, another one who was no bigger than Jon Jones. So when he's giving it the big and being like, oh, well, people always think someone's going to come and dethrone me. And yeah, I get the narrative. That was the way at light heavyweight. There was always that next guy coming up. But you ain't never fought an animal like Tom Aspinall, who is as quick on his feet, who has the speed that he does at 260 pounds, who has the heavy hands that he does. You have never been in there with a beast like that. It's just not happened. I'm not saying that means Aspinall wins, but for people to do the Tyson Fury thing of going, oh, well, he's always won, so therefore he always will win.
And I mean, as far as Curtis Blades go, there was also a lot of people thinking it could have gone over a round and a half. And I mean, you don't like second rounds. Like, what do you have against second rounds, Tom Aspinall?
Absolutely nothing. His coach said in the build-up, we're going to drag him into deep water. We're going to drag him to the later rounds. So I was preparing myself for the later rounds. You know what I mean? That was me. I was going slow in there, man. That wasn't me trying to knock him out at all. I never looked for the finish. I was like. They're saying they're going to drag me into deep water. I'm going to look in the camera and say it. Somebody dragged me into deep water. I'm telling you, I want to feel what it's like. I want to see if I can swim or not. John Jones, if you can drag me there, take me there. Because right now, all these guys are saying it, but no one can do it.
John Jones couldn't knock the skin off a rice pudding. We have had stuff to do in the same building for like 4 or 5 days in a row, and I've not run into him yet, which is a bit weird. How many times can this be a coincidence? The honest answer is I don't know if it is a coincidence or not, but I'm not even bothered about fighting John. I think everyone gets it very confused, especially John. I just want the heavyweight title, that's all. I deserve it. We have coincidentally missed each other a lot of times. Actually, that one clip, I didn't even know he was there.
Nice to meet you too.
I've not seen John, actually. We haven't like directly crossed paths. We've just been in the same room a couple of times.
And John had been telling us for quite some time, I already told the UFC my plans. I'm not sure why they haven't done anything with it. But it seems as though as he continued to try and hint at what his plans were, the UFC felt like their hand was forced and they had to put it out there. Because at this point, what are we waiting for? Now, Tom Aspinall is coming to Las Vegas this week. He will be there back end of the week. He was told that a decision would be made by International Fight Week. Why I think this is ludicrous that it all went down like this was, we had waited so long for the resolution to this issue. Could they have not done something in Las Vegas in front of all the fans before the press conference, after the press conference, before the weigh-ins, after the weigh-ins? In the middle of the card on Saturday, before the fight, after the fight, presenting Tom with the belt, saying, you are the man, this is the glamour division, you are the baddest man on the planet, you're the heavyweight champion, you've done it all right, everything we've asked of you. Why not do it like that? He's literally going to be there in a couple of days. Where every media member, every fan is going to be there. You do it like this? In a throwaway, midway through a press conference in Baku, Azerbaijan, in the middle of the night over there, when no one's paying attention, you do it like that? What is that? Defend the belt against the top guy. You can't be the guy. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And that pissed a lot of people off.
See,
agree or disagree?
Yeah. So I agree with you. And here's the thing: like my whole entire career, I've always defended John. I've always defended John Jones, and I'm gonna say this: like, I truly believe he's one of the best to ever do it. I truly believe that. I've worked out in the same room as him. I've seen his eyes. I see how he moves. But then when I sit there and I've always wanted to do this on my channel, is basically dissect a person's career. Go to the very first time they got into the UFC and just go through the whole entire thing. And when you go through it, it's like Michael Wanzer of Love Him to Death. He is so honest and unbiased. And he was like, dude, like, how are you going to say John Jones is one of the greatest of all time when he's fucking failed a drug test?
Multiple times.
Like, listen to yourself right now. Like, you're lying to yourself. Stop lying to yourself. Like, he's like, you actually look stupid. Like, you and GSP and Habib have never failed a drug test.
Yes.
Not fucking once.
Yes.
And you're sticking up for somebody who's clearly failed a drug test, right? Now, if you go, I know Shaquille O'Neal said, oh, he's one of the greatest. Shaq, let me sit you down and me run you through the whole entire career of all that stuff, right? And, you know, when you sit there and you peel back the onion and you start looking at that, it's like, you know, yeah, you didn't
believe in that. That's not what you were about.
Yeah,
you didn't stand. So how can someone who did that multiple times?
It's like approval. It's almost like if you're putting him in the same category as
then you're okay with it.
You're approving and you're condoning what he did.
When John Jones finally announced his retirement, after months of speculation, false starts, and uncertainty, it seemed like Aspinall would finally get some direction. But instead, the UFC has yet to commit to a clear matchup. First, Francis Ngannou's name was in the mix. Then there was talk of Jones returning. Later, whispers suggested Alexander Volkov. And now, CIRYL GANE in Paris is being floated. For fans, it's been nothing short of a revolving door of possibilities.
The undisputed title, that's really what I was chasing the whole time. I was never really chasing one guy. John Jones was always just a bonus because of the resume that he's got and because of the name that he has and the status that he holds within the sport. Like, he's so well respected. I think that would have been a great scalp for me to have on my resume. But ultimately, I was chasing the belt. I was chasing being the #1 heavyweight fighter in the world, which I am, and I can say that I am now, especially with John not around and he's retired and that's behind us. But ultimately, the thing that I wanted really was the belt. The fact that John's left the sport. Obviously, it would have been better for me career-wise to have that name. Financially, it would have been great as well. But the thing that I was ultimately chasing was the heavyweight title.
And how do you think about John's decision? Do you view it as a strategic dodge, or do you view it as a genuine sort of closing of that chapter in his legacy?
I think that he's entitled to do whatever he wants. to be honest. I'm not. He's done way more in the sport than I have, so he should do whatever he feels is right. Speaking as just a fighter here, if it was so public, for me personally, I don't know if my ego could take it, having not done it. But that's honestly, that's his prerogative. I don't hold any ill will against him for it, and I'm happy to move on with my career now that it's over, because you got to remember, I've not fought for nearly a year now because of this, and I've been healthy the whole time. I've been in the gym the whole time. I've been doing exactly what I'm supposed to do as a high level operating athlete at the elite level. So I'm glad that is behind us now.
Do you, in part, I guess, take this as a bit of a compliment that there was such huge public pressure for him to fight you, and actually the route that he chose was to retire instead of fighting you? I mean, that's quite a compliment for someone of Jon Jones' stature.
I try not to let my ego take control of me. I could see why people would think that, but to me, it's just like, maybe when I've retired, when I've retired myself, which is not going to happen in the next couple of years at least, I'll think about that kind of stuff. But for right now, it's just like, we've got to focus on another fight. We've got to get me active. We've got to get me back out there and doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
I mean, to be honest, I would have rather fought for it, of course. I did defend the interim though, which is a weird thing as well. To be honest, I always saw myself as a champion anyway. I think the whole Jon Jones thing was a bit weird. I think everybody can see that was a bit of a strange situation. But luckily now that is in the past and we can move on, which is good.
Tell me how it happened. Your father has come out and said that you knew, but you didn't know exactly. And I think the way in which Dana White did it was surprising. I mean, it caught a lot of people off guard in the middle of the night in Azerbaijan. Is it, announcing this type of retirement? Yeah. Where were you? How did you find out? And what were those first moments like?
So I had been for a meal and been out and stuff for the day. I was just getting a shower, it was just before midnight, and I started getting calls on my phone that they'd announced it, and I was like, what's this? I knew that, obviously, I had an inkling that Jon Jones was going to retire and they're going to move forward and I'm going to be the champion, but as you said, I didn't expect it last weekend, and I didn't expect it to be in Azerbaijan. All due respect to Azerbaijan and stuff, but it's just not really what I expected, so like I said, I would have rather fought for it. I would rather take the title from the champion. But I honestly believe that I was already a champion in my own right anyway, so a little bit of a weird situation, but it's all in the past.
Do you feel like you were denied the memory, the experience of being crowned an undisputed champion, or at least at a press conference in Vegas? I mean, you were coming here a few days later. Were you kind of denied a little bit of the fanfare that should come along with becoming the heavyweight champion of the world?
You know what? I would have liked to fight for it. The other stuff, it's not really important to me. Like, in a year's time or whatever, people are just going to forget and I'm just going to be known as a champion anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But I've said it a million times, but I just like fighting people. That's what I really enjoy above everything else. Titles, money, fame, all the rest of it. I just like the actual act of training for a fight, the build up to it, fighting people, putting your skills to the test. I love all that stuff. I'm a proper MMA nerd. And the fact that I've not had a chance to do that, I'm just relieved that it's over and we can move forward.
Yeah, and I want to look forward. I feel like I need, because we were just waiting for this for so long. So of course there are some loose ends to tie up. I want to ask you about some of this stuff with Jon. The part that I want to ask you about is going back to March, and that is when the UFC was in London. I'm sorry, in England. It was London. It was London. Yeah, it was. And you were there as a guest fighter, and then you met Hunter Campbell, and it seemed like it was a lot of positive. It seemed like that was a moment in this whole saga where I think we're going to get this fight. Can you kind of said that the talks went well, but now that it's all resolved, what happened in London? What were your talks with Hunter Campbell then? I mean,
I believe that's the UFC's business, really. As far as I just did everything that was asked of me, to be honest. What their business is with the other side is their business, and I don't really know what happened. I know that the UFC were pretty sure that it was going to happen.
No, man, Jon's retired. What are we talking about, guys? Jon, you guys don't follow Jon on social media?
I don't follow him on social media. He said that...
No, me too, actually. Me too, but The guy is living his best life. He's had a fantastic career, we all know. We know John's a religious man, so I want to say God bless him moving forward in what he does with his life and his career. And you know, we move on. I'm the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. I'm ready to take on all comers, get this division moving again. Us guys have been waiting around too long. You know, the contenders are getting sick of it. Everybody's getting sick of it. Even the fans are getting sick of this stuff. So John's retired and it's time that we move on.
Aspinall has been caught on this ride for far too long. Behind the scenes, he's kept himself ready, refusing to lose momentum. He's even admitted that he's preparing for several different opponents at once. Right now I'm training for 4 different styles, he revealed recently. That statement alone highlights just how uncertain and chaotic the situation has become.
Because right now I've been thinking about that whole situation and being held up and frustrated for almost a year. And it's what I love doing. I've been held back for the whole time and it's not been very fun, to be honest with you. So the ego side of my brain is like, yeah, I've kind of beaten without fighting him. And I did say that. I've said that the whole time that I'm going to retire him without fighting him. But I don't kind of want to harp on about that, really. I want to kind of just put that behind me and move forward on my own path now.
I hear you. And, you know, John Jones is an unpredictable individual. So there's still a possibility that retirement wasn't a legit retirement and that he might get a bit bored and end up, you know, deciding that he wants to come back and fight you. Is that something that you would consider if that were to happen?
I'm sure with where he's at, he can like jump the queue anytime he wants. So, you know, this time of year down the line, we'll have another 3 or 4 contenders knocking on for a title shot, I'm sure. But anytime someone like him wants to step up and say, listen, I want to fight again, they're going to get an immediate title shot. So I'm never going to count that out. And I'm sure that maybe he's, you know, I'm in a spot in my career where there's not all that much footage out there on me. Maybe he sees something on me in the next few fights and he thinks, you know what, I can beat this guy. I'm going to come back and beat him. So mentally, I'm never counting that out. I think the fight is always, it could always pop back up and come back around on me. So that's something that I would obviously accept. But as I said before, I think a lot of people get it confused over the last kind of 10 months-ish, is that I was chasing John Jones. That was never the case. I was chasing the undisputed heavyweight title. That's it. So if I do get the opportunity to put John Jones on my resume, of course I'll accept that with open arms. But if not, I'm content. I'll move forward and I'll create my own legacy with.
Imagine holding the UFC heavyweight title and still having no idea who your next defense will be against. Some believe the promotion has been scrambling ever since John Jones stepped away, desperately trying to piece together the biggest possible matchup. Others argue the organization is simply dragging its feet, shielding certain fighters' reputations and letting the division stall far longer than it should.
Retired John Jones. Just as he predicted, Tom Aspinall, over a year ago, I think, said, I will retire this man without even having to fight him. He's never going to fight me. And despite all the umming and ahhing and all the fucking pretending that he was going to actually ever get in the cage with Tom Aspinall, John Jones has done what we always knew he was going to do. He's tucked tail and ran. Imagine calling yourself a goat and yet behaving like such a duck. I mean, this is like back in the playground. John Jones has got a bike. Tom Aspinall's come over and goes, give us your bike now. What you have to do then is fight. You have to defend what your shit is and say, no, you're not going to take this. And do you know what John Jones did? You have it. I don't want to fight. You can have it. This is unbelievable. The greatest of all time. What a load of shit. I'm sorry. Never going to call that him the GOAT ever again. Because being the greatest of all time is not just about winning. And that's what John Jones doesn't understand. It's about how you conduct yourself throughout the whole of your career. Are you willing to fight the biggest challenges, the biggest tests, go in there and test yourself against everyone? And John Jones proved, without a shadow of a doubt, his biggest test, stepped up and he bottled it well and truly. Remember this clip from like over a year ago when John actually met Tom in person?
Respect, man. All the best. Respect. All the best. Do a quick picture. Sure. Yeah? Let's get it. A face off.
Okay. He wouldn't even face off with Tom Aspinall, let alone get in a cage with him. And after all of the fannying around and waiting for John Jones to man up and strap his balls on and defend his heavyweight title, because you've never really earned it. You beat a guy who wasn't even the champion. You beat Stipe. Oh my God, what a farce that fight was. That will go down as the most pointless, pathetic fight I can imagine in a world title fight.
I honestly can see John's point of view. I get it. I get it. It's just about the title for me. I just want the title, that's it. Does nothing else really matter. So yeah, I get it completely, get his point of view, get what everybody's saying, completely understand. I just want to prove I'm the best, that's all.
Tom has reached his limit. He's letting fans know that he won't waste the best years of his career just waiting. His message is clear. If the fight is against CIRYL GANE, he's in. If it's set in Paris this September, he'll be there. And if it's anyone else, he's ready to put pen to paper today. But the UFC needs to act quickly, because Aspinall isn't a stopgap. Here's the genuine article, the heavyweight